There was a man named Samir who had spent his life believing that strength meant never showing weakness. From childhood, he had been taught that vulnerability was dangerous, that emotions were to be hidden, and that asking for help was a sign of failure. So he built walls around his heart, walls so high that not even the closest people could see inside. He carried his burdens silently, smiled politely when joy was absent, and endured pain without complaint. Samir's life, from the outside, appeared enviable. He had a stable career, a comfortable home, and acquaintances who admired him for his discipline and composure. But inside, he felt increasingly isolated. Every struggle, heartbreak, and disappointment was a secret he carried alone. Even when he laughed, the laughter felt hollow, like echoes in a cavern where no one could reach. The silence of his home at night pressed against him, reminding him that he was the only one who understood the weight he bore. One rainy evening, exhausted by yet another day of putting on a flawless facade, Samir wandered aimlessly through the narrow, lantern-lit streets of the city. The air was thick with the scent of wet earth and burning wood from nearby ovens. The rhythmic patter of rain on cobblestones matched the irregular heartbeat in his chest. He stumbled upon a small tea shop tucked between two buildings. The sign was weathered and faded, but a warm golden light glowed through the window, inviting him inside. Hesitant, he stepped in. The shop was small, filled with the smell of fresh tea leaves and roasted spices. Behind the counter, an elderly man with silver hair arranged ceramic cups. He looked up, and his eyes, bright yet gentle, seemed to pierce through Samir's carefully constructed armor. "You look heavy with your own burdens," the man said softly. Samir blinked, startled. How could this stranger know what he had spent decades hiding? The words hit him like a mirror held too close. I suppose," Samir muttered, unsure why he felt compelled to answer. "Sit," the old man said, motioning to a worn wooden chair. "Drink, speak if you wish, or remain silent. The choice is yours, but know this, silence carries weight too, sometimes heavier than words." Samir hesitated. He had spent his entire life guarding his thoughts, his pain, and his weaknesses. And yet, something in the old man's presence felt different, safe, patient, without judgment. He sat. The tea was served in a simple clay cup, its warmth and fragrance a comfort he had not realized he was craving. "Why do you carry it all alone?" the man asked, his voice a gentle stream. "Why hide your pain, your fear, your sadness?" Samir shook his head. "Because if I show it, people will think less of me. They will see me as weak. And I cannot be weak. Not ever." The old man nodded slowly as though he understood more than words could express. "I understand. I too once believed that hiding my heart was strength. But I learned that the heaviest burden a man carries is the one he refuses to share. Strength is not in enduring alone, but in allowing others to bear some of what you cannot." Samir felt a knot tighten in his chest. Could it really be true? Could he trust another with the weight he had carried for so long? The thought terrified him. His life had been built on the illusion of invulnerability. If anyone saw through the walls, would they laugh, leave, judge? The old man reached into a small drawer and pulled out a clay pot, small but perfectly balanced. "See this pot?" he said, placing it gently in Samir's hands. "It is fragile, yet it can hold water. If I drop it, it will break. If I hold it too tightly, it will crack. But if I handle it carefully, it fulfills its purpose. Humans are like this pot. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is what allows us to connect, to carry love, to endure together." Samir gazed at the pot. He imagined himself holding his own heart, always clutching it tightly, afraid of cracks. And suddenly, he realized the cracks he had feared were not flaws. They were the channels through which trust, empathy, and love could flow. "Do you understand?" the old man asked. "I think I'm beginning to," Samir whispered. "But it is terrifying. What if I show my weakness and people reject me?" "Some may," the old man said calmly, "but some will stay. Some will reach for your hand and carry a fraction of your load. And in that sharing, your heart grows lighter. The world is not strengthened by hiding, but by allowing others to walk with you, to support you, and to share the journey." Samir spent the next weeks returning to the tea shop, sitting in silence, listening to the world outside the window, the rain tapping, people rushing home, the quiet murmur of conversation. Gradually, he began to open up to others, little by little. He shared small truths with friends, admitted fears at work, and spoke honestly to family members. Each act of vulnerability was terrifying, yet liberating. He discovered that people did not retreat as he feared. Some did, yes, but many stayed, offering support, kindness, and understanding he had never expected. One evening, as he watched the rain streak across the window, the old man asked, "Do you feel lighter now?" Samir nodded slowly. "Yes. I still carry burdens, but they no longer crush me. I have learned that sharing them does not diminish me. It strengthens me." The old man smiled. "And that, my friend, is the paradox of strength. True strength is not in hiding, but in revealing. True courage is not in enduring alone, but in trusting enough to let others walk with you." Samir's life did not become perfect. He still faced hardships, heartbreaks, and failures, but now he faced them differently. He allowed others to support him. He spoke his fears, shared his pain, and discovered that vulnerability was not his enemy. It was the key to freedom, the pathway to connection and authentic joy. And now, listener, pause for a moment. How many burdens do you carry alone, believing that showing them is weakness? How often do you deny yourself the intimacy of trust because of fear? And yet, what if the very act of revealing your heart is what allows you to live fully, to be seen, and to feel alive? Samir's journey is a mirror for anyone who has hidden behind walls of self-protection. It challenges you to ask yourself, are you gripping life so tightly that the weight crushes you? Or are you willing to open your hands, to trust, to share, and to find strength beyond what you imagined? He left the tea shop one rainy evening, the clay pot still in his hands. Only now it was no longer fragile in his mind. It was a vessel capable of holding both joy and sorrow, capable of carrying love, capable of being shared without fear. And as he walked home, the rain no longer felt like a burden. It felt like a cleansing, washing away decades of fear and isolation, leaving only the possibility of connection, hope, and courage.